Welcome to it, sports fans. It is the MKT Show. I'm MKT. Welcome to it. It is Friday evening. Friday. Good to be with you on this fine evening. Friday, we made it. It is Premier League night tonight and a little bit of rugby. Don't even know what the rugby score is, by the way. Forgot to check. Saw the Pumas were winning 13-10 at a stage. So that's great. Good for them. Good for them. Hey, Friday today, I thought I'd get back to a Friday five of sorts. I will tell you the players I view as the biggest waste of talent that I've ever seen. The five players that I see as the biggest waste of talent in the history of football, and I guess the modern era that I've seen. It's just shocking. You think of this talent, you're probably going to think they've got World Cups galore and they should have done so much more. So I've compiled a list of five. Story comes out today. Mason Greenwood. Late for practice. Ollie comes out and defends it. We'll get into that and a bit more. If you got questions, welcome to it. By the way, MKT, Gareth Cliff is behind me there. Social or physical distancing. If you got questions, throw them in the live chat. Otherwise, tonight will be short and sweet. We got Aston Villa on tonight. And who they play? Is it Sheffield? I want to say. A good game. But tomorrow, bumper to bumper. Cannot wait. West Ham kick it off. And they're playing well. I mean, that comeback against Tottenham, that'll kick us off this weekend. Man City will get us going. But let's get into it. My Friday five. Let's get into the top five, like, biggest wastes of talent ever, right? The greatest waste of talent I have ever seen in my life. At number five, listen, he started at Real Madrid. They bought him for 19 million pounds, world record fee at the time. And everybody thought we haven't seen anything like it. Famous for that Teka kit, TEKA. You can buy that, of course, on all classic football kit websites. Real Madrid, Los Merengues said, Nicolas Anelka, come on board. You are the greatest thing that Clerfontaine has ever produced. He arrived and unraveled immediately. Arsenal tried, Chelsea tried, many asides, Bolton tried, but they could never quite harness the magic of a Nicola for long enough. Enigmatic, talented, yes. Arsene Wenger says the most talented footballer he has ever signed. More than Henry, more than Perez, more than Vieira. An absolute waste of talent. It never worked anyway. Great documentary, I understand. I still haven't seen Nicolas Anelka's documentary. It all culminated, of course, with Patrice Evra and co. with a difficult man in Ramon Domenech, of course, at the World Cup here in South Africa in 2010. We know what happened there. Nicolas Anelka seemed to always be at the center of things like that. A massive, massive waste of talent. Should have been a Real Madrid a legend. Should have been a Chelsea a legend. Of course, goes and misses in the 2008 Champions League final. All right, you miss penalties. But it was a career that never quite got there. The talent through the roof. Mentality, so sad. So sad. At number five, Nicolas Anelka. He was the real Vavavoom. Henry achieved it. But my God, Anelka, 19, raw, power, Champions League winning, but could never hold it together. The superstar life, everything outside of football was better than the football itself. Number four, came to Chelsea under, enormous potential. He just come from Fiorentina, I think at the time. Can't remember, but just some player, this guy. Left foot, right foot, great power, a nice nastiness. You got to be nasty in the Premier League at number four. It never worked out. Look, Abramovich Abramovich holds a grudge, it seems, because he made this guy pay the money back because the career at Chelsea was ended by drugs. He came back, played football, but Abramovich chased up for about £6 million, which he does not need. It's chicken feed, but you don't mess with the man's money. And as they say, $10 is still $10. Don't care if I'm Jeff Bezos or the guy next door. At number four, Adrian Mutu. For me, he looked like he could be the next one. He had an Inzaghi quality about him. He always knew where the ball was. Left foot, right foot, didn't matter. Scored some spectacular goals for Chelsea in that first season. Adrian Mutu, outstanding talent, but just not good enough off the field again. My goodness, what we were robbed of. Great power, great technique, good finisher. And his career kind of fizzled out. Very, very sad. At number four, Adrian Mutu. At number three, why always me? This guy And Mourinho tells a terrific story about him in the Champions League, I think semi-final. He tells Balotelli halftime, listen, make no challenges. Don't close anybody down at halftime. Comes after halftime. What does this guy do? He runs across, tries to block a useless kind of clearance from the other team's corner flag. So no real danger there. Second yellow, you're off, son. That embodied his whole career. And played the victim everywhere he went. If it wasn't fireworks going off, it was girlfriends on Instagram complaining. If it wasn't that, it was him being caught in public intoxicated. I mean, it was always something. The ultimate victim, but outstanding talent. Physically, one of the most imposing players we've ever seen. But at number 3, Mario Balotelli, you've got to say a career wasted. Absolutely wasted. Got his money, good agent. And guys like that probably shouldn't have been with a guy like Mino. Needed a bit more of a disciplinarian. What Mino is an enabler. You're right. Let's go get it done. Probably didn't need that kind of maverick Machiavellian agent. Needed somebody more down the line. Somebody who was going to get him to get there because the talent was outstanding. The attitude, not so much. Mario Balotelli, absolute waste. An absolute waste. He had everything. He had pace, he had power, he had technique. He could hit a free kick, penalty taker. We remember the composure. But the T-shirt he made at Manchester City, it was always about something else with Mario. Doesn't it feel like that? It was always about something else with Mario. Never about football. What's the rule? Keep the main thing the main thing. That is rule numero uno in life. Keep the main thing the main thing. Mario Balotelli, always about something else. I mean, fireworks in your bathroom. Are you kidding me? What are you, a child? What a waste. We saw the latest incident where he got locked out of his own football club. It's just, where's it all gone wrong? Why always us, Mario? Why always us? Number 3, Mario Balotelli. Number 2, sad case, but also there are no victims. He was caught up in the wicked spiral of addiction. We were robbed of a generational talent, pace and true power, raw power, a genetic freak, a left foot, absolute diamond cutter from the gods themselves. Free kick, penalty, and then the spectacular goals at Inter Milan. Here we were genuinely robbed of a potential generational great. He came at 19 and took over Europe for 2 seasons. But then the alcohol came and he was never the same. Alcohol first, depression second, and he never, ever, ever recovered. He's one of the greatest raw talents I have ever seen. He had everything. He could do it all. But ultimately, alcohol stole him from us, and the addiction led to the depression, which really sealed his fate. Inter Milan tried and tried and tried. Brazil tried and tried and tried. He was never it again. At number 2, listen, I even have to say the great Adriano, because he had 2 seasons where he was untouchable. 6'3", 6'4", unit, technique, touch, could play back to goal, could play facing the goal. Once he turned to goal, he had an absolute thunderbolt of a left foot. And a set piece specialist, by the way. Adriano, number 2. We were robbed there. We were robbed there. At number 1, and I don't think it's even close. It's not close in modern day football. It is not close. Listen, this guy was so good that at Real Madrid, he came at 19. By the time he was 20 in the famous Los Galacticos team, he was the main playmaker. He came from Santos with all the billing in the world. He overachieved. But as we've seen, and I've always said it, if people show you who they are the first time, always believe them. Because let me tell you what we saw in this guy's career from the beginning. He decided it was a good idea to leave Real Madrid for Man City. Now, at that time, in fact, in general, when you are the main star and there's Zidane, Figo, Roberto Carlos, Michel Salgado, but you are the main star at 20 years old, that tells you something. And you're at Real Madrid, and then you decide to leave. Listen, people are who they are. I don't like people who don't make good decisions. Robinho showed you then that he is incapable of making good decisions. He's in some personal trouble now. I'm not surprised. Some stuff's coming out about him and his wife. Okay, listen, whatever's happening off the field, I'm not surprised because he showed you up front, I'm not into good decisions. Now, there's a second coming. His name's Neymar, who luckily he's got his money sorted, but not good with the decisions. Robinho showed you from the beginning, I'm not good at making good decisions. From Man City, from Real Madrid to Man City, when you're the star, embarrassing, awful call. And it all unraveled. He got to Manchester, it got cold in December, and he was never, ever interested. Played 10, 11 games, and he was out by January. It gets a little nippy in Manchester, for those of you who don't know. He wanted to samba. He cared more about the stuff off the field, and some of the stuff now is coming out a little bit later after his career. Robinho, never into great decisions. The biggest, just natural talent. Listen, think about it. Zinedine Zidane and Luis Figo are top 10 of the modern era, certainly top 20 of all time. Robinho was made the centerpiece of that team for the season he was there. His talent was out of this world, raw talent. He came out of Brazil, probably couldn't even speak Spanish. He knew nothing of the Western world. He truly, his story is so sad. He had it all. He's done fine with the money, absolute Brazilian superstar. But in terms of achieving his talent, to think his heights were at 20. And he played a long career. He should have been what Zinedine Zidane became. He should have been what Sergio Ramos became. So sad. At number one, the greatest waste of talent I've ever seen. And listen, it's not close. His talent was astronomical. Neymar had nothing on young Robinho. It took Neymar time. Neymar only really settled down in his second season at Barcelona. Robinho lands 20 straight away. I'm the star player. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Young, shy kid, Brazil, I don't care. Put the ball at my feet. Luis Figo says, my God, that's freakish. Zidane, that's freakish. Salgado, Carlos, Iker Casillas. All right, the team belongs to this young man, and the rest is disaster. Absolute disaster. I'd like to know what you think. Listen, I wanted to put Ravel Morrison on this list because I saw him play live and he was different, but he never quite made it anyway. He had half a season at West Ham, but we know what he cares about. You can go and check out Ravel's Instagram. It'll tell you absolutely everything. 5, Nicolas Anelka. 4, Adrian Mutu. Number 3, Mario Balotelli. Why always me? Number 2, the Brazilian monster, that is Adriano. The first Hulk, really. And at number 1, Robinho. Joga Bonito himself. Absolute baller. Unfortunately, cared more about stuff off the field. Hey, decisions matter. By the way, don't act the victim in life. The decisions you make matter. It's so important. It's so important being able to make good decisions under pressure. It's such a valuable asset. These 5, Anelka, Mutu, Balotelli, Adriano, Robinho. Bad decisions. Wasted talent. Should all be generational. We should be speaking of all 5 as though they'll never be matched again. Ronaldo, Messi, Shevchenko. You listen to these names, Pirlo. These guys should be on that list. Wasted talent, bad decision-making, and ultimately a loss for football. A loss for football. Robinho brings a tear to my eye. Hey, before we head off and enjoy the weekend, I thought I'd discuss something that came up in the media today. Saw an article about Mason Greenwood. It makes me so sad because reporters aren't going to lie. I just want to tell you. But let's start off with the biggest problem about this issue where Mason Greenwood, late for practice, etc., etc. Now, Ollie has come out and said, no, I hate to disappoint you, but he's always on time. He's a good lad, etc., etc. And then people say, oh, but you're picking on Greenwood, and people will find their reasons. And hey, what about Ben Foden? So let me tell you why stories leak. Because I was in that world. I understand how the player and the sources from players at football clubs to media worked. Not secondhand. I understand it intimately. When news comes out, what it's telling you, and you can see at every well-run company, right, is that when people don't trust the authorities, the higher-ups, there are leaks. So don't worry that this is a story about Greenwood. What you should worry about is, did you ever hear a leak under Fergie? It's impossible. It's impossible. When there are leaks, what the employees are telling you, even in normal businesses, when there are leaks, it means the employees, in this case, the players, in this case, the staff, these are people that are at the ground. Listen, Sky Sports aren't making a story up. Ollie can do whatever he wants. He can say whatever he wants. He's got a problem. This is a problem. And, this is the problem with young players. And it's like a puppy. If you don't want the puppy messing up your carpet, you teach the puppy that toilet outside. And it pees inside, nose in the pee. We know that. Never again. The problem is if you leave it and you try and train a puppy at 3 years old, it's too late. If Mason Greenwood has been getting away with this and Ollie, out of desperation, has been playing him because Greenwood's been on fire, that's a problem. Because that's enabling. Because now, and this is where tough love is important, is how does Ollie pivot out of this now when Greenwood will inevitably at the end of the year get a £100,000 contract? How does Ollie go and tell a man who's earning £100,000 that everything you've done to get here, no longer acceptable? Out the gate. But this is what happens when there's no structure. There's no order at Manchester United. It's not club first, it's players first. It's never been that way. But this is just another story coming out of Man United now. Maguire, this, Pogba. I mean, how long is it going to go on? And listen, even if they beat Chelsea this weekend, you've seen what they are now. And those reports are not coming from outside. They're coming from inside Manchester United. As soon as leaks happen in sport, in business, it tells you that people don't trust the higher-ups. Ollie has no control. People say, yeah, what about Foden? Why has there been nothing coming out about Foden? Because everybody at Man City is clear. Anybody who squeals, we will find out. Everybody knows every journalist. And journalists, by the way, are desperate. Because I'll tell you what happens. Any journalist that reports that, you're cancelled at Man City. You are cancelled at Man City. That is the sort of... Listen, Fergie did it. There were journalists who he just wouldn't answer the questions of. If you said something bad about my players, Fergie's out. Why is Foden's name not coming up? Because nobody at Man City is talking. Why? Everybody's clear that Pep is the guy. And there are consequences. And those consequences would be dire. Any player that dares to think they can step out of line, is gone tomorrow. Sergio Aguero, right down to the tiniest player at Man City, to a guy wearing number 52 in the under-19s. You're gone tomorrow. At Man United, the model's wrong. It's player-centric. Pogba will let you get away with it. Greenwood will let you get away with it. It can't work. So the story, there's something to it. But the worrying trend, if you're a Man United fan, it should be that now it's a part of the fabric of the change room. If your captain thinks it's okay to put himself in a position, I don't care about outcomes. I'm not outcome-based. I don't like people that go, once again, here's the example. If you're driving drunk and you make it and you have a safe trip and you go, oh, well, it's fine. I made it this time anyway. It's okay. And then next time you go, oh, well, I'll deal with it this time. Don't like it. Don't like it. I like systems. I don't like that kind of thinking. The problem for Manchester United is now the trend is out. If you are allowing your captain to be at Mykonos, I don't want to hear excuses. Don't put yourself in that position if you're Manchester United captain. Oh, they're just people. Let them party. I'm sorry. To whom much is given, much is expected. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. The CEO does not get to behave the same as the cleaner at a company. If you're the Manchester United captain, you know what you do? I've been to Mykonos. Mykonos is for the lads. If you're going to go there, you're not on the booze. You go out late. If you're going to go there as captain, you're having day parties and you hire a villa, do it there or do nothing. It is about control when you're the captain at Man United. So if you put yourself in that position, I'm sorry, I have no empathy. I have zero empathy. There are no victims. Do not be a victim. And if you're a victim, you can't lead. You can't. Leaders cannot be victims. Problem. And I've always said the most important person at a football club is the captain. If your captain thinks it's okay to be in Mykonos getting wild in public, that's a lack of self-awareness. Folks, we all work at businesses. Isn't there the worst thing in the world is having a boss who has no self-awareness? He has all that power, and you wake up tomorrow, you don't know what sort of privileges he'll give to who. It is the worst thing in the world. When your football captain is in Mykonos partying, right? I'm Mason Greenwood. Oh, all right, well, they didn't punish the captain. Why should they punish me? That's the problem with what you see there. And that's it now. Paul Pogba, I'm always on Instagram. My agent's always calling out Manchester United and the club. Okay, Paul, we need you. No, gone. That should worry you as the trend as a Man United fan, is that the manager's not in power. What was Fergie's great line? The manager must be in control. He was all about control. I don't want to go over the names that he got rid of, but he got rid of them. You know who they are. You know who they are. At their prime. Control. Man United. So the worrying trend should be there's no control. The fact that the leak happened, the fact that somebody's discussing Greenwood with the journalist, there's no fear of getting fired at Man United. At that level, if you want to win, there has to be fear. Don't talk to me about soft power and involving everybody. You know why Jose Mourinho won at Chelsea? Everybody knew what the rules were. You know why Fergie won for so long? Everybody knew what the rules were. It is clear the consequences if you dip below Manchester United standards. It was very clear. Now, unless you're Eric Cantona talent, he is the exception and not the rule. You better be, because Cantona is like Leo Messi levels, right? Ronaldo levels. Yeah, we'll tolerate you. When you're Harry Maguire and you think it's okay to be in Mykonos, and then you want to play the victim and the police and boo-hoo, what does that say to the rest of the club? And this isn't the sanctimony thing. By the way, I'm not a moralist. Go and get hammered. Go and get hammered if you want. But I want Mason Greenwood and Tom McTominay getting hammered. I do not want my captain as the biggest corporate entity in sport getting hammered in Mykonos and putting us in that corporate position. Listen, we just had an incident today in South Africa. I don't want to mention the gentleman's name. It's going to be awful. What happened immediately? Pulled on the show. His advertising gigs are gone. You know why? Corporates hate. If there's one thing corporates hate, it is controversy. They are so allergic to controversy. You don't think Man United... Listen, Man United will probably shop their captain this season. Can't do it now because you can't replace him. It's going to cost you 150 million pounds because people will know, all right, listen, you got rid of Maguire. It's the last minute. Let's go. If this was not a global pandemic, Maguire's gone, I'd like to think. Or maybe not. Ollie, I don't know what's going on. I think that decision may have been above Ollie had it been a normal market. If you're a Man United fan, be concerned. The manager's not in control. What is the old saying? The prisoners or the inmates are running the prison. That's what's going on now. And I said this about 3 months ago. The problem with having Paul Pogba as the centerpiece of your change room is that Greenwood looks up to that, right? When you see guys going to Mykonos getting hammered, Greenwood, Martial, these are the next guys. This is why Martial's out of hand. This is why Martial has that body language, that demeanor. That doesn't happen under Roy Keane, under Rio Ferdinand. And that should, for me, forget about results. As a Man United fan, what's the system? What's the plan? There is no success without discipline. I'm sorry. There is no success without discipline. And remember, greatness is a price you must pay every day. You don't get a day off at Manchester United. I'm sorry. If you're a United fan, that's my biggest worry. And listen, there's a polarity immediately across the way. At Man City, Foden did exactly the same thing as Greenwood. There hasn't been a word. There hasn't been a word. I can guarantee you Pep Guardiola said, lock it up. Anyone talks, you're gone. That's power. That's control. That's how you win. And that's how you win long term, by the way. It's clear. Pep Guardiola has said, lock it up. Ollie, come on. You got to manage your Manchester United. Stop being bullied. The media is essentially bullying Manchester United. It's not possible. If I'm a United fan, I'd love to know what you think. But if I'm a United fan, I'm really worried now. I actually don't care about the football on the pitch because there's no hope. If it's not Pogba, it's Greenwood. If it's not him, it's Lingard. If it's not Lingard, it's Mr. Mykonos. When does it stop? When does it stop? It's tough. It's tough. Hey, Friday night Premier League is awesome, by the way. I cannot wait to get home and watch that game. Not sure what time it's on. The rugby's on tonight. The Pumas, can they beat the Stormers? Don't think so. By the way, Super Brew, go and join. If you like the rugby, go and join the Super Brew group. It is Cliff Central Brew. Cliff Central Brew. That's how you spell Cliff Central. CLIFF Central Brew. BRU. If you are into the Super Brew rugby prediction game. Like, share, subscribe. Remember, push the like button so it can be that way or this way. If you have any questions, put them in the live chat. Otherwise, for this week, incredible weekend of football coming up. United Chelsea, huge game. Looking forward to another interesting game because it'll decide sort of that 5th, 6th spot. The Gunners play Leicester. Now that'll be interesting. Will Vardy be back? He'll test Gabriel. He will test Gabriel. Sport at cliffcentral.com. Otherwise, I am at MKT, Mike Kilo Tango Inspires. Otherwise, you can find us as Cliff Central Sport on all social media. Sport at cliffcentral.com. Suggestions, likes, don't like, whatever it may be. So if you push the like button, that helps us go up the algorithm. And that's what it's about. That is what it's about. Building a community here, folks. It is Friday. Listen, football's on. It has been short. It has been sweet. You could have been anywhere tonight with anybody. You chose to be with me. You chose to be with GC. Ladies and gentlemen, for this evening and this week, we are so glad to have you with us. It's an honor. For now, though, we are the hell out of here.